5 race weekends, 6 weeks of chaos. And the Formula One roller coaster is only just warming up as it barrels towards Miami, the final showdown before Europe takes over the calendar. In a span shorter than most driver contract negotiations, the sport has flipped its own script. Lewis Hamilton, now dressed in red, claimed his first Ferrari win in the Shanghai Sprint, while Oscar Piastri has become the first Aussie to lead the F1 drivers' standings since his mentor, Mark Webber, ruled the charts back in 2010. But just as the dust begins to settle on track, another storm is brewing off it, one that could shake the entire grid. Behind closed doors, Red Bull is reportedly holding secret talks with George Russell. And if those rumours are true, it could ignite the most shocking driver shakeup Formula One has seen in years. Meanwhile, Red Bull's internal drama is already worthy of a Netflix series. They've shuffled their driver lineup like a game of poker, and yet Max Verstappen, with just one win to his name from Japan, is lurking dangerously close at the top. And of course, it wouldn't be a Red Bull storyline without Helmut Marko sprinkling petrol on the fire. He's all but teased that Verstappen could trigger his exit clause over the summer, if he feels like it. Behind closed doors, whispers of rebellion are growing louder as teams wrestle with the beast that is the 2026 regulation overhaul. The much-hyped 50-50 power, split between electric and combustion, may already be on the chopping block. The FIA is now proposing a detuned 200 kilowatt cap on electric power during races, keeping the full 350 kilowatt punch for qualifying and overtakes only. In simpler terms, less electric juice, more strategy chess. The politics of power in F1 isn't just metaphorical anymore. It's built into the engine maps. There's a quiet confidence emanating from Brixworth, and it's got the paddock talking. While Toto Wolff has remained surprisingly tight-lipped, whispers suggest that Mercedes might just be leading the 2026 power unit arms race. If true, this could be a game-changer in more ways than one. Not only would it signal a triumphant return to form for the Silver Arrows, but it could also hand Wolff a potent bargaining chip in the ongoing saga to lure Max Verstappen away from Red Bull. Even Adrian Newey, speaking during his garden leave back in January, hinted at the looming power struggle on the horizon. Asked about the incoming regulations, Newey didn't mince words. There has to be a chance that one manufacturer will come out well on top, and it'll become a power unit-dominated regulation, at least to start with. Translation: if anyone nails the new rules early, they could be untouchable. That warning shot turned into a full-blown flare when Stefano Domenicali emerged from a fruitless manufacturer summit in Bahrain. The F1 CEO didn't sugarcoat the situation. We're on the brink of a major regulatory shift, and I personally believe it's crucial that the system allows for a faster recovery if a manufacturer falls behind significantly. That's an issue we must address quickly. It could happen to anyone. The fear of falling behind in the power unit race is no longer just paddock paranoia. It's real, and it's rattling even the sport's top brass. Stefano Domenicali didn't hide his concern after the Bahrain summit flopped. We all need to think strategically, he urged, adding a pointed reminder that too much dominance from one team could derail the sport's hard-earned global growth. Translation: Mercedes might already be ahead, and that has everyone twitching. On one side, you've got Dr. Helmut Marko fanning the flames with cryptic hints that Verstappen's seemingly ironclad Red Bull contract, signed through 2028, might have a summer escape clause baked in. On the other, Toto Wolff has already branded the engine regulation adjustment talks as a joke, while Adrian Newey and Domenicali both warned that 2026 could crown a power unit king and turn the grid into a one-horse race. Now throw this curveball into the mix. Mercedes still haven't secured George Russell beyond this season, and rising star Kimi Antonelli still unsigned for 2026. For a team that prides itself on forward planning, that's either negligence or something far more calculated. The idea that Max could swap Red Bull's throne for a Silver Arrow seat no longer feels like wild speculation. If anything, it's starting to look like a quietly moving chess game. George Russell, ever the team player, diplomatically admitted it'd be natural for any team to want the best driver of a generation. Yet when The Athletic tried to stir the pot, Wolff denied any contact with Verstappen's camp. "We didn't have any conversations," he insisted. When asked about the timing of Russell's renewal, his response was just as evasive. "We'll pick those talks up once we're in the European season. There's no stress. Because if Mercedes really do hold the golden ticket with their 2026 power unit, and Verstappen is hunting for the fastest way to a 5th or 6th or 7th title, then we may be witnessing the first act of a seismic shift in Formula One's power structure. He's performing at the highest level, exactly as we hoped and expected," said Toto Wolff when asked about George Russell's current form. "He's delivering, no doubt about it. There's nothing more we could could ask. We have this summer window. Right now, there's no reason to challenge or question anything. But in Formula One, words are only half the game. The other half? Contracts. And who's trying to steal your driver before the ink dries? Despite the praise, Wolff is walking a tightrope. By leaving Russell's future open-ended, he's taking the gamble that neither Ferrari nor Red Bull will swoop in and make a move. And in a world where talent is currency, George Russell is looking more like a blank check waiting to be cashed. With Lewis Hamilton heading to Ferrari and Yuki Tsunoda's seat never quite safe, it wouldn't take much for Russell to look like the perfect fit for either red or blue. Remarkably, Russell doesn't seem the least bit rattled by the Verstappen to Mercedes chatter or the fact his team boss might be eyeing someone else. His response? Cool as ever. Why wouldn't they want Max? He shrugged. It's totally understandable. He's the best right now, a 4-time world champion. That's nothing against me or Kimi. Every team has 2 seats and he's just one guy. I'm not concerned. As it stands, I believe I'm performing as well as anyone on this grid. Confident, unbothered, and very much aware of his value. The question now is, will Mercedes reward that self-assurance with commitment or keep flirting with the idea of a Verstappen revolution? With neither of Mercedes's current drivers locked in beyond this season, the possibility of Max Verstappen slipping into silver overalls is becoming harder to dismiss. And if such a high-stakes switch does happen, it might not be Kimi Antonelli making way. It could be George Russell. According to senior writers at the race, there have been whispers of preliminary conversations between Russell and Red Bull. Nothing concrete yet. More contingency chess than active pursuit, but enough to suggest Brackley's number 1 isn't entirely untouchable. Still, the puppet master behind the latest Verstappen rumor mill remains the ever-enigmatic Dr. Helmut Marko. The man's practically turned exit clause into a new F1 buzzword, yet even he seemed momentarily at ease after the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. The RB21 showed signs of real progress, with Verstappen finishing a close second behind the surging Oscar Piastri. Marko's tone shifted, if only slightly. As long as we give Max a car that can win, he said, all this talk will disappear. Translation? Red Bull knows the stakes. Keep Max happy, keep Max winning. And maybe, just maybe, the contract clause stays buried, and Wolff's Mercedes master plan stalls on the grid. But in this political paddock, comfort is temporary and loyalty is conditional. The question isn't just whether Verstappen wants out, it's whether George Russell is ready to risk being the collateral damage of someone else's power play. So, as the F1 circus packs up for Miami and whispers grow louder across garages and boardrooms alike, the game of political chess between teams, drivers, and engine suppliers is in full swing. Mercedes may be holding a technological trump card, Red Bull is clinging to Max Verstappen with a white-knuckled grip, and George Russell is playing it cool, even as the ground beneath him shifts, but with contracts open, regulations in flux, and loyalties as fleeting as podium finishes. The real question is, who blinks first? Verstappen, Russell, or Toto Wolff? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, goodbye for now.